What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is Nolan North, voice of just about everything. Nolan, thank you for coming here.
Welcome.
Thanks
for having me.
To this room. Ladies and gentlemen,
Great room.
First and foremost, this is a spoiler alert. I hate it when you tweet at me and say I didn't give you enough time. Huge spoilers ahead if you haven't beaten The Last of Us. Stop watching. You've had all the time in the world. Nolan, I was very, very shocked, nay, surprised to find out you were in The Last of Us. I was listening to like guards thinking you'd have some kind of cameo there, but then this guy David appears, and he's a big main player in the game.
Yeah. A lot of people thought if I was going to be anything, it'd be like Thug 3 or something,
right,
running around. And no, I got to do something a big departure from my usual Naughty Dog.
I was going to say, when
yeah.
you know Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series from Naughty Dog, he's a good guy, very nice, clean cut young gentleman, doing the right things out there.
Yes.
David, not so much. How do you come at David as a character?
Well, differently than people are going to experience David, for sure. Because I mean, everybody's like, oh, he's a cannibal, and he's a rapist. I see the good in everybody, including David. And in all seriousness, I approach the character very much. He's trying to survive in this environment that Naughty Dog's created. But I mean, I think it's. I make no apologies for him. He's the leader of this group. He's out there trying to just keep everybody alive by whatever means necessary.
Is that how you approach all your things? I forget who it was. Probably Voltaire, who talked about acting and said that like when they go in.
Did you say Voltaire?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a good actor. I heard.
I didn't know we were getting to it.
But there are no villains when you're trying to be an actor, right? Like you have to have a motivation for everything you do.
Well, I mean, I don't like to get into actor speak, but as Voltaire once said, "Screw it." No, I mean, if you're playing somebody who's a real jackass, jackass, and
there you go.
Somebody doesn't think he's an otherwise he would probably change. So it's the way somebody sees the world. This guy David is, I mean, by our standards, he's out of his mind, but put in those situations, he has things to do and choices to make, and you've played the game. It's cold. A lot of the women haven't survived, and here comes Ellie, and sure, she's younger, but I mean, back in the 1850s, I mean, that wasn't a big deal if there was a young teenage girl marrying or getting together an older man. Well, I'm not condoning that in our society now, by the way. Okay.
I think everybody's with you. Right? This is what we always talk about: zombie apocalypse, right? At what point do you have to do away with the social conventions and rules we have now to say this is about survival? How long are we going to last? Especially because David's not like working within the system. You know what I mean? He's not inside the walls doing
exactly. And here he comes across this. They're out hunting deer as well, probably. Yeah. Finding something like that is the first choice always. Yeah. He's clearly someone who's had to make some very difficult choices, very difficult decisions. I mean, they're not. I mean, it's the cold weather months. For him and his crew, but he's trying to keep his group of people alive and safe. Yeah. And in my mind, I just thought, I don't think before everything went awry, so to speak, that he was out there trying to eat people like Jeffrey Dahmer, or he wasn't trying to rape little girls or anything. And I don't think he's trying to rape her or do anything horrible like that. At first. He clearly likes to get his way, but I think when you're put in that situation, maybe the population is his group, and there's not as many women, and he wants to repopulate his area. And here's somebody who's clearly a survivor, and from outside, and he can protect her. And he says that in the game, he wants to protect her. Yep. We refer to the part where he chokes her out. Well, he could easily kill her right there, but he knows that his followers are going to kill her, and he's trying to protect her because I think I found some empathy with him, is the idea that he sees a potential glimmer of hope in his future in Ellie. And I think that's what she represents overall, this glimmer of hope, this for people for a cure. and she's his glimmer of hope in a different way. So I didn't approach it in a very, you don't want to just play, play the problem.
Sound crazy.
Yeah, you never play the problem unless, in this situation as an actor, you don't want to play the problem. You don't want to, like, oh, I'm so drunk. You don't do that, because when you're drunk, you're trying to
maintain,
and that's when you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So I think for David, it was he had good intentions at first. And then when she keeps fighting him off, and then by the time you have the big boss battle,
the only big boss battle in the game. Huh? Like a feather in your cap.
I think that's the first time I've been a big. Well, I did. God of War was Hades. Wasn't he was he the big boss battle?
He was one of them.
In God of War 1.
Oh,
I don't remember. I think so, but I was the voice of that.
I'm being told off camera. Yes, he was.
Yes. Well, there you go.
Kratos is off camera.
But I love what I love about this is that juxtaposition, that the big boss battle is this scrawnier, wiry character who has the good intentions, I think, at first.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to just go with me on that one. I think he does. I mean, that's just my personal.
Yeah, that's how you had to play it.
And to turn out, because by the end of the of that whole the whole David campaign, let's call it, all the rules are thrown out the window.
You've seen something.
Yes, and if you've gotten through the level, good for you. Glad I could be of service. David's head, or what's left of it.
Nolan, thank you so much for coming by.
You bet.
Your next performance is in Deadpool, June 25th. Get out there and get that one. Give me a Deadpool line before we go.
No, I don't feel like it. You should do something for him. We don't do anything for Greg Miller. Greg who?
No. IGM.